can save like you? Who can heal like you, Lord? Nobody else but you. You're my provider, my healer, protector, lover of my soul, redeemer, my anchor in the storm. Everything is you, Jesus. You're everything. Everything is you, Jesus. You're everything. Everything is you. That is why my worship is to you. Everything is you. That is why my worship is to you. Everything is you.
I bless the name of the Lord for this wonderful opportunity to have Jesus on the inside of me. Friends, there is no other thing that matters in this life. What is the most important thing for you is to be sure that Jesus dwells right on the inside of you. Try it and you will never have a regret. Put your faith in Jesus. Hallelujah. Let's worship him again.
Oh, Jesus,
Jesus, you are my everything.
you're everything. Everything. Everything is you.
You are my provider, Lord Jesus.
Jesus,
You have never left me.
you're everything.
He said, behold, I am with you always. That is why the storms of life can never drown us. Yes, my worship is only to you, Lord Jesus. That is why I kneel only unto you. That is why I proclaim the name above all names. Everything is you, Lord Jesus. Yes, you are. Everything is you, Lord Jesus.
Everything is you.
Nothing matters.
Everything
It
is
is
you.
only about you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Oh, praise God. It's good to have everyone here today. Praise Jesus. I want to thank all of you for joining me. Praise Jesus. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to, for those of us who are out there, I want you to know that today is a wonderful day. I'm so excited. You know, when you have so many things going at a time, there is every possibility that some things can just go before you know it. You may not even know how much time is running. And it's like when it is morning and it is night, you are so surprised and shocked that night has come. And it's like, oh God, what is going on? So I want to thank you for today, for joining me. For those of you on radio, praise Jesus. Welcome, 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 welcome. Today, you know that I take a different approach when it comes to every Saturday. And every Saturday, as I promised you, I'm looking at, you know, what is affecting believers all over the world. The church of Jesus Christ that is coming into so much fire from what I would call the unbelieving believers and the stark unbelievers. Those who don't believe in anything that has to do with God, those who don't believe in anything that has to do with the church. And then the worst of all is if there is any situation against a pastor, that is the end of the story. And so it is a pastor story that will now, you know, become a major thing. And you know that it is said, if you strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. And most times people are not careful about what they do and how they raise issues, you know, on pastoral platforms, or what goes on online, or what goes on, you know, about the church, about the pastor, about the leader, and all of that. So people take things for granted. I want you to know that Jesus Christ is still the great shepherd. He is leading the church. He is shepherding the church. And he is working to make sure that the church succeeds. So I welcome you on today's platform. Next week, Saturday, I will be having somebody to discuss with me on this very, very most important thing on should the church keep folding our hands and looking at what is going on in the world. And also, how much and how far can the church be involved when it comes to politics, when it comes to governance? How far can the church be involved? The society in itself, as the society lost their faith in the church, as the society lost their faith in the leadership of the church, do we still have people who believe in the church? I mean, when a pastor stands up and says, thus saith the Lord, you are the next president. You are the next governor. You are the next local government chairman, or you are the one that is going to lead or in their own place, you know, all of that. And it happens that has not come to pass. It happens that those people that sometimes and most times, in many occasions, what the bishop said, what the archbishop said, what the apostle said, what the intercessor said, what the, you know, title holders, you know, in church, the deacons and all of that, come to agree. Oh yes, this person is going to be the next president. This person is going to be the next governor. This person is going to be the next, you know, county leader. And then somehow that thing does not come to pass. Is it true that God told them? Is it true that these things that are being said, that it was correct? And as the society lost faith in church leadership, given to the involvement of church leadership as far as politics is concerned, as a result of that, should the church stay out, stay clear, hands off, say, well, we don't have to, because you know that if there's anything that is going on today, the enemy is hitting the church, that politics is dirty, the church should stay off it, should never be involved, and should just, you know, because Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. So how do we put all these things together? How do we put them and make sure that these things are, you know, in proper perspective? I want to propound some form of thesis during this very period that I will be talking to you on this matter. So don't forget, it's still your brother CLETUS BASSEY coming out from Destiny International Mission. I represent many organizations. I speak for different bodies, and I am careful that I do not allow myself to be overwhelmed by certain things that I know will make people to wonder if this guy is still called and is still in church and in ministry. Well, many of us are called in different forms and different ways. Many of us are gifted in different forms. I mean, you talk about a medical doctor. There are doctors that are surgeons. There are those that are into nerves. There are those who are into bones. There are those who are into, like the heart. There are those who are into teeth. There are those into eyes. There are those into, the nose, the mouth, all of that, like triangle part of the face. I think what they call them again. So, but they are all medical doctors. But every medical doctor has an area of specialization. They all have areas of specialization. So the same thing happens in church and in ministry. I believe that there are pastors that are called, and the call of God in their lives, God has given them a certain area of responsibility that they must know how to make it work for themselves and work for the body of Christ, and make sure that that aspect is known. But you see, sometimes because we are all pastors, everybody is categorized, put in the same mold. Pastor is pastor. Everything pastor ends in that mold. No, there are those who are leaders. Go back into the Bible. You will see great men and women who occupied great positions in government, in cities, in nations. They played major roles. And there were those prophets that were not palace prophets. There were prophets who were palace prophets, who would go into the palace, who would speak to the people, speak to the king. And all of that, there was a synergy between the leadership of the church and the leadership of the country and all of that. Should the church say no? Should the church go away? Should the church say, oh, we can never, we are too, the thing is too much and all of that? But as I've said to you, that Jesus said, you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. How much can we allow the light to shine? How much can we allow the salt to bring taste in the world that we are living in? Are there aspects of the world that we are not to be part of, to let the light shine? Because if we are the light and we are shining the light, then there is need for us to let the light shine in every aspect where there is darkness. And I think that one aspect that is so much darkness and the enemy wants the church to shy away from is politics and government. He wants the church to shy away from that so that they can hijack it and then do whatever they feel like doing. Well, I can say to you, by the grace of God, some of us have been called and to speak about this, to speak up, to speak out, and to, bring light, shed light on some most important aspects for which the church must have to know about. The issues about laws, the issues about policies for which every government comes to bring to bear upon a generation, a nation, a state, a local government, or a locality where you are, a unit, means a lot. And Christians should not stay away with that, knowing what is going on in their world, what is going on in their city, what is going on in their community. How will you be a good intercessor with that information? It takes an intercessor that has information to become a processor that will begin to put things in proper perspective. So there's need for the church to always pay attention to what is going on in their world. Pay attention to what is going on in their community. Pay attention to what is going on in their government. So if you are there and you're hearing me, I want you to reach out to others. Tell them that this man is back on Saturday. Saturday is a special day. Saturday for me is a day I speak about the church and how policies of government can affect the church. Policies of government can, crush the church. Policies of government can encourage and enhance the church. It is not enough for us to just be praying. It is good for the church to pray. It is good for the church to, do one thing or the other in the community. But it is also important that the church should show interest in what is going on. Don't forget, the last week that we began, I talked on, when you rise and you stake your claim as a Christian, it is important for us to stand. It is important for us to stake our claim. What kind of a claim? I am the light of the world. If you are the light, how much are you shining? I am the salt of the earth. If you are the salt, how much are you salting the earth that we are talking about? Or are you assaulting or insulting the earth in the name of being the salt of the earth? So I am very much, available to discuss, to talk about this. And as I said, from time to time, I will bring others to discuss this matter with me. Wherever you are in the world, this is something that touches every Christian, everybody, everyone that said, I am a Christian. It is important that you know that God did not serve you just to remain in church, to clap hands, to sing, to dance, to prophesy, and sometimes prophesy and go home and that's it. No, God raised you, brought you, and saved your life to occupy. Jesus said, occupy till I come. And if he said, occupy till I come, then we must have to make disciples. Make disciples in the marketplace. Make disciples in government. Make disciples everywhere we find ourselves. Make disciples as a nurse. Make disciples as a doctor. Make disciples as an engineer. Make disciples, wherever you find yourself as a teacher, as a student, wherever you are as a Christian. Our mandate is to make disciples. So if we are going to, as Christians, stake our claim, we must show that claim. What is it? What are we claiming? Our citizenship, our rights as citizens. We must begin to let the world know, the people of the world know that yes, we are still here. The rapture has not yet come. The church has not yet been taken out of here. So we are still available, and we must be very much influential, and we must affect what goes on. And that is why the church must begin to also understand about economics. The indices that we see today is believing that the world, a greater number of nations are being plunged into a greater level of poverty, and they are going through all of this. So what will the church do? Are we gotten barns filled? Have we done anything? Do we have farmlands where we are encouraging our members to go farm? Are we encouraging them to do things with their hands, or they are waiting for government to give them employment? I believe government will not be able to employ everybody, and that is why they create enabling environment for private enterprises to prevail, to succeed. And that is something the Christians must also begin to take a look at. Which aspect can we begin to give ourselves to, and be sure that we are doing what is called for and what is necessary. So every Saturday, I will be provoking you either to anger or to join me in making sure that we as the church will not give the enemy another foothold to take over, to control, to manipulate, and to cajole the church, insult the church, as if we don't pay taxes, abuse the church, as if we don't live in the same world. Because when a pastor speaks up and says something, they say, why should a pastor talk? Why should a pastor do this? I believe that one way or the other, we have not been able to stay on grounds where we are effectively managing, what is going on in our communities and in our world. The church must begin to train men, come up with curriculum that will disciple men into governance or into government or into leadership, you may call it. Because leadership is a broad spectrum. Whichever area you find yourself as a leader, you must be able to supply whatever it needs. And the church must be able to make that happen. We must begin to raise and bring up curriculum that will train our people to know how to engage, whether it is at the international community, whether it is at the national community, whether it is regional or it is state or it is local. We must begin to have people in the church who are knowledgeable enough to speak intelligently, speak with every intent and understanding of what the times are. If we have such Christians, then I can tell you we are ready for the next level, because the church of Jesus Christ is marching on, and the gate of hell shall not prevail against her. If the church is marching on and the gate of hell is not going to prevail, then we must have to arm ourselves with wisdom and knowledge. Knowledge is important, because where there is knowledge, there is a proper way of applying that knowledge, which is wisdom. And then we also know what is going on in our communities, and we'll be able to position ourselves more effectively, more productively, and more, fruitfully. And yes, last week I talked on mentorship. Many people do not want to submit themselves for mentoring. And there are also issues that many mentors are aggressively angry at their protege, those that they could have raised, those that could have given opportunity. They are working against them. So there's need for us to have mentors that will begin to help us. And as I said in closing last week, you don't need to have a Christian to be your mentor. Because if most of the people who have already been in government and have been in politics are already people who are not Christians, where will you gain the wisdom from? The Bible talking about the children of this world. He said they are wiser than the children of the kingdom. Why are they wiser? Because they know how to submit themselves, to get trained, to be equipped, and to get ready for what they want. But when you look at it in the church, we don't have the people that have been there, who have understood the principles of the kingdom, who are engaging politically, the way it should be. But, as we're talking now, there are those who want to go in, but they don't have what it takes. So we must begin to position ourselves. We must look for those that we can go to that can mentor us. So now, I am going to today look at another aspect of mentorship, and that is the mentoree. Those that should submit to be mentored. Because sometimes you have the people that can mentor you, but it is difficult for you to submit yourself to be mentored. I'm going to look at a few challenges that we find why many people don't want to submit for mentorship. And when that happens, we have a challenge. Why wouldn't people submit? Why wouldn't people want to be mentored? Reasons why this generation don't like to be mentored. We take a look at a few of them. And I would like for you to look at it very well. Because if we must have to come into the scene of leadership, we must definitely be mentored. You must have some form of a reference point. Throughout the Bible, you see God raising leaders and they themselves raising other leaders. Why many leaders fell was because they didn't have successors. Why didn't they have successors? Is it that they didn't have people that they could have trained, they could have raised, they could have, poured into? I still remember Mas Morol. He said that when you want to die, you should die empty. That means that whatever thing you came with in this world, make sure you empty it before you left this world, before you leave this world. I recall the Archbishop Hossa of blessed memory, one of the last messages that he preached, talked about the benefit of death. And he began to tell his congregation, I have finished my task. I am only just having injury time, over time. He began to talk to them about it. And little did they understand that the man was on his way out. He was not up to 60. He was to have been 60 that year. But somehow, just about few weeks into being 60, the man took off. He was not sick. He was not in an accident. He was entertaining people. He kept cracking that joke. This drink that I'm drinking with me today, I look for it next time that we will drink. It will not be this fruit of the vine that is made with hands. He kept telling them. He saved the people. He helped them. They had wonderful, moment of dinner or lunch. He saved the people. So, and he finished, sat down, put his head down. That was the end of it. He moved away. So, but is Church of God Mission still running today? I can tell you that Church of God Mission is stronger today than ever before. This is a man who raised leaders. He was a leader raiser. He raised leaders. He knew how to mentor people. The church must begin to have understanding that it is very, very important. If we must also begin to excel in the area of politics and government and that aspect of leadership, we must begin to look for people that can mentor us. You don't just jump in, go pick a form, and then want to be a candidate. Yeah, that can happen, which you find in so many places. But you cannot really succeed doing that because those who have been there before you, they know how to stop you. They know how to say no. They know how to say you cannot make it. We have been here before you. And you will say, well, they don't like me. They hate truth. They hate righteousness. They hate somebody who knows what is, No, they don't hate it. You've not passed through the process that to make them trust you. People cannot give people power that they don't trust them. Power is earned. They must have to know they can trust you. Now, how many years have you been in the corridor power? How many years have you been in that pathway where they can trust you and they can hand over to you and say to you, you run with it. We have a baton for you. How many? Do they have such people? So it is until they have known you and they have trusted you and they know that you have submitted to instructions, then can they say, run with it. Oh, don't tell me what I know already. That there are many mentors who are afraid of their mentorees. They are afraid of those who are rising up. Or they feel that if these young people come take over, they will just run things out without them. Well, they must have to learn to believe that a time comes, they will not be there. And if they will not be there, there is need for them to begin to prepare their absence, presence, that they will no more be there. So let me just say a few things why this generation does not like to be mentored. Now, number one, it is the shortcut syndrome. Something that this generation has come into, whereby everything for them is, a microwaved. Have you seen microwave? Microwave is you put something there, punch that very button. Is it 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes? It is as hot as anything. And you have to notice also that you cannot put every plate into microwave. It will break into pieces. You must have to have what is conditioned, what can handle the heat, so that what you have put inside it will be able to still stand. That even this, the cut short, the shortcut syndrome situation, the microwave situation, still must have to have some form of capacity to handle the heat, And let me also say something to you. The shortcut syndrome, which I still call it the microwave, Christians or people or politicians that want to go into politics, must have to know no man has ever cooked any food using microwave. Have you ever heard that before? That somebody cooked soup using microwave? Have you heard that before? That somebody cooked rice using microwave? Have you heard that before? That somebody prepared a hamburger using microwave? No, you can't cook your meat or chicken using microwave. Microwave can only heat up what had already been cooked. So if you are one of those people who don't believe that you need a season of mentorship, a season of being mentored, you should just jump, stand, run, begin to become the next chairman of a local government, the next president of the country, the next governor of the state. My brother, you are making a big mistake. There is need for you to understand that this shortcut syndrome will not allow those kingmakers to trust you. No, they won't trust you. They hit and run. With so many people, hit the system and run. They will hit and then see if they can win. If they don't win, they run away for another 10 years. Then they resurface and they said, well, I'm still here and all of that. No, you have to remain in the system. You have to be cooked. You have to be tested. You have to be proven that you can be trusted. So the generation that we are living in, the shortcut generation, the microwave generation, is a generation that does not know how to stay long. They just want to get things done right now. They just want to get it. Give me this mantle. Give me this mantle. I want to run with this mantle. I've been to places where some young people come and say to me, Daddy, lay hands on me. Lay your hands on me. I want to have what you have. I want to preach like you. I want to just get this thing going. I want to. And I said to them, if I lay hands on you and then the things I transfer to you, do you know what it means? Can you carry the things I've carried? Do you understand what it is for you to just say, I want to preach like you? You can preach like me, but I desire for you to preach far more than me. I don't want you to stop where I am. There is still more rooms, more grounds. The horizon is so wide. So don't want to preach like me. You must preach like me and surpass me. You don't stop at where I am. So many people, that is what they want. Oh, lay hands, give me the opportunity, give me this. Now, if you're on radio, you know that you're going to be going up very soon. I want you to join me on Facebook because this is very, very important. It's very important. I want you to join me and follow up on what we are doing right now because it is going to rain. I'm looking at things. The way people want to join politics, you just want to join in between. They are not prepared. They have not been in the corridor of power. They don't know what it means to grow in the rank and file. They don't understand the intrigues. They don't understand how things are done, how selections at party levels are done. They don't know what are the things that they need to do. So they just want to jump up and become, oh, I want to be the governor with their hands up. Oh, I have put down so much money. I have this, I have that. Let me tell you something. Winning an election or even nomination in a party is not all about money. Many people think that money is everything. I have seen people who have had so much money, but they never succeeded. They never won one election. They never won. It is not about money. Mentorship will help you. The mentors will help you to tell you what to do, where to go, what to say, what not to say, how to arrange yourself, what not. And because they also know how to sell you. So if you don't have a mentor, you are already a failure. You must have to have a mentor. The church people must begin to put themselves together, especially those who have been exposed and they have been in politics over the years, to begin to prepare the next generation of people that must begin to come in. I believe we need the A, B, and C level, where you begin to learn the of politics. You must have to know it, understand what it means to know. I'm saying this because I think that sometimes we just jump from nowhere. We want to go and become a counselor in your local government, or you want to become a local government person, or you want to become a governor, or you want to be a president of your nation. Man, what have you done? Where have you come? Where have you been? You know, all of that. There is need for you to understand that shortcut never has helped anybody. Shortcut has never helped. Most people who jumped the line and then suddenly become something, ask how they have ended. Sometimes they seem to be doing well at the beginning, but before you know it, they will crash. They will so crash that and you would wonder, why would this man so crash so badly? Why would this man become so mean? Why? What happened? He never grew. He never developed muscles. You want to run the race and you've not been practicing to run. You want to go into boxing, or you want to go into wrestling. You want to go into any of these sporting fields, and you've never been taught how to do that, and you just begin to pray in tongues. Power you become. No, that is not how it has happened. Mentorship is important. You must be mentored to be able to understand the intrigues. Let me tell you something. You can blame the leader all you want. You can blame the governor all you want. You can blame the local government chairman all you want, or the man in your county all you want. You can blame the president all you want. You can sit on the stand and begin to tell how you should have played that match, how you should have scored the goal, how you should have done better. But if you get in there, you discover that it is far, far much more than what the eyes see. I want you to know that leaders need prayer. They need to know what is there. Many people, you know, when they have, by reason of might be favor, so many people have been favored to might be coming to a place of leadership. If you have become favored, a favored candidate, and you have not been growing by the rank and file, you need to go and study. Study to know. The Bible even says, study to show yourself approved. I believe mentorship moment are moment of studies where we are studying to show ourselves approved. Whether you are going to be a seller, you want to deal with product, you have to have somebody that will mentor you to understand how to make it happen. Or do you know how many times people have wasted so much money? They have put in so much money into something. They thought it was just tap, tap. It is finished. They will now see the profit. And they keep, saying the profit will come. See, many people have wasted money. Ask me, I will tell you how many times I've wasted thousands of dollars or millions of naira over things I never sat down to learn. Oh, I have a vision for something. I have a vision to run a hospital, to own a hospital, but I am not a medical doctor. I have a vision to run a studio. I am not a sound engineer. I have a vision to run NGO. I have never run any NGO before. I don't know how that runs. I have a vision to run a school. Yes, if it is Bible college, I've learned that one. I have gone through it. I can begin Bible school from anywhere, and I can run Bible school at any place. It does not matter, because that is where I have learned over the years to have studied from diploma to my first degree, to my master's degree, to my doctorate degree. Today, I have 2 other doctorate degrees plus the one I had before. So in the aspect that I am wired to make things happen, that I don't have problems. But you see, when people are not ready to make themselves students, but they want to be leaders overnight, you will crash land. So many people are leaders because they had favor. Favor brought them to the place of leadership. But after you have been brought by favor, you must now learn to labor, to sustain that which you had received by favor. That you have received by favor, you must now begin to labor, to sustain it. Many people don't understand this. So if you want to go into politics, if you want to go into governance, if you want to be part of leadership that is going on, you must avoid the shortcut syndrome. Internet fraud has made so many young people not to value the process to success. That is what has happened over time. Because you see, on the internet, they will tell you, oh, you can have certificate of leadership in 3 weeks, in 3 days, just attend. Man, that is how people have abused schools. I mean, look at first degree. First degree today, they will tell you, you don't need to spend time. You don't need to waste your time. Just come. In under 6 weeks or under 6 months, your first degree is ready. When you see such people with first degree, especially tell me a medical doctor that comes out and said to you, I only attended a 6 weeks or 6 months course of being a medical doctor, and he brings out the surgical knife and he wants to cut you open. My brother or my sister, you better run for your life, because I can tell you, you won't wake up from that bed. You won't wake up. Just write their will before you submit yourself to such a quack doctor or a nurse or whoever. Back in the village, back in the day, it will interest you that there were so many people that we knew as doctors. Who were these doctors? They have never been to school. They just have been these patent people who just go to know how to combine, medication and give to people if you're having headache or you're having fever or you're having, excuse me please, malaria, if you are from where they have malaria, or and then they call them doctors. I mean, these guys have killed so many people than you can understand. That's the same thing that happens when you don't submit yourself to be mentored in an aspect of your interest. You have already prepared to fail. And the internet has not helped, where people are telling you, pay this, pay that, we send you certificate, all of that. That is why they are screening whatever certificate you have today. Because there's no medical doctor, there's no civil engineer that will come back and say to you, oh, my civil engineering was just a 3 weeks program and I have diploma in civil engineering, or I have my master of science. It was just a 1 year course, and now I come up with my master's. Well, I would advise you, if you want to hire somebody in your company that is a construction company, you would never dare try to bring somebody with such a certificate that has not gone through the true process. So the internet fraud that has brought about the shortcut syndrome, that has made people to believe in this microwave approach, has really made things very difficult. And so many have become instrument of destruction instead of instrument of blessing. I want to encourage you that there is need for you to submit yourself, to begin to plan ahead. If you want to be a governor, if you want to be a president, if you want to be a leader in any of the aspects of leadership position, in whatever aspect, I want you to plan to submit yourself and let somebody coach you. Let somebody gather you. Let somebody carry you. Submit yourself. And if you do that, you will be very much on the best way on your way. Because these people who are following the internet shortcut, fraudsters that are all over, going to register some form of university that have not really gone through anything and begin to issue out certificates, diplomas, and degrees. They just want to hit it big, not minding the process. There is process in everything. You want to be the best president of a country? You want to be the best governor of a state? You want to be the best leader of your county or your local government area? Submit yourself, learn, go through the process, understand how to, get things done. So mentorship is very important. Allow people to help you so that you will know how to navigate through the waters of difficulties, disappointments, lies, criticism, and all of that. Many people have left the saddle of leading to now begin to engage in answering people who are not on the seat with them. I mean, how do you leave your place of leadership to begin to engage yourself with people who are criticizing you? That means that you didn't even know why you are there. Criticism will come. Some of them are constructive, some are not. Yes, you have to learn to have a team of people that can listen to those who are criticizing you and the area that you know and they know that you need to improve on, and listen to them. Let them bring it up. The worst thing is that some people say, I don't read those papers. I don't listen to anybody. I don't care about what they say. I'm just focused on what I'm doing. My brother, my sister, it is not about you focusing on what you are doing. You need to listen to the people you are leading. Oh, come on. That is why so many leaders don't want to listen. You need to listen to the people you are leading. You can't keep leading people as if they are goats. Even goats sometimes can resist movement. You don't have to keep leading people as if you are leading cows. Even cows, sometimes you take them to the water, they refuse to drink. How much more human beings? I think that the problems of leaders to a great extent, which when you come back again and put statistics through, or put some form of, what did I call it again? Put some form of questionnaire to leaders, you will discover that most of the leaders that have not known how to handle criticism are those who have never submitted themselves and have not grown, through the process of leadership to understand how people can criticize great leaders and they are still successful. You can't keep leading people like goats and cows. You must have to learn to listen to people that you are leading. But you see, that is as a result of you understanding how to manage the facets of leadership. Leadership has so many facets in it. And if you have not been raised by somebody who himself has been mentored, it will be difficult, because two of you are blind leaders leading other blind people, and you will fall into a ditch. That's what Jesus taught on leadership. If a blind leader leads another person that is blind, both of them will fall into the ditch. So Christianity is not a matter of, we are just waiting to go to heaven. No, you will go when the time comes. No man's going to leave you on earth forever. But while you are here, engage in your community. Get to know what is going on in your community. Be involved in your community. Contribute positively in the community that you're living in. It's not just about prayer. It's not just about preaching. It's not just about having wonderful worship team. It's not just about building mighty edifice and people just keep coming, putting offerings and tithe. How much are you affecting the community that you are living in? And for those of you who are in the US, do you know that why they give you 501c3 was because you must have ability to use the monies that they are being given in church as tithe and offerings to help the community. That means you must put back into the community, give back into the community that you are in. You must be able to give. And if they assess you, you don't do this, that means that the purpose for which they gave you 501c does not even make any sense then. And you are not living up to the expectation of the government that gave that to you. So, mentorship, submission, going through this process is important. If you don't go through the process of being mentored and accepting yourself to go through that whole 9 yards, and you just want to have, the microwave system syndrome, approach, I am ready. I am ready. I was born ready. I was born ready. Even if you were born to be a leader, you need to still be trained to be that leader. So as I said, if favor has brought you into leadership, labor to remain in the place for which favor has brought you. Then number two, I had to say it because it is not easy to rush what I need to say to the church. I am bothered about the church, that we do not have the future plan of the society where we are living in. I believe that we need to have people into government so that they can become people in education sector, health sector, entertainment sector. They need to understand the economy of the given place. We need to begin to get our people into all of these aspects in the society. While we are waiting for rapture, let us make sure that the kingdom principles that we have learned in the church, we have applied in the very world that we are living in. We are able to contribute positively, influencing our generation and the next generation with the purposes and the counsel of God, bringing forth the voice of the Lord, raising the bar and the standard for which God has given to us in our Christian walk with God, than just to live and pray. And when things happen, that's when we call people to come and pray. When things happen, that's when we call for prayer and fasting. When things happen, that's when we want to do prayer walk. Have you heard about prayer walk again? For those in Nigeria, after end SARS thing, is the church still going prayer walk, praying over the city? No, we wait. When something happens, that's when we begin to, let's prayer walk. Have we mapped out the city, know where there are strongholds, and begin to go there and pray down those strongholds, overturn things? Have you engaged properly? So where we do not have Christians that are speaking up for the purposes of our faith, the very process that we are looking at things today, it may be difficult to reverse some of the things that are happening in our countries and in our states and nations. The church must be involved and engaged. So number one, why this generation does not like to be mentored? The shortcut syndrome, we must deal with it. The microwave system and syndrome, we must deal with it, because nobody has ever cooked any soup. Nobody has ever cooked any rice. Nobody has ever cooked any meat. Nobody has ever cooked anything that you want to cook and put all the condiments, all the things that make up the food using microwave. You first of all put it through fire, and when it is cold, you can now heat it up by putting through microwave. So let us stop having these microwave leaders who just emerge from nowhere and they have no pedigree. We must begin to ask ourselves these questions. How much have you learned for where you are going? How much have you known about politics? You want to join politics. How much you know about politics? Do you know the intrigues? I will never forget, Washington, D.C., Washington himself, the man that over the years, Washington, D.C., Washington, the president of America, who went through so much, who fell in so many things, many times, yet he kept believing. He fell at different instances, but at the end, he became the president of America. Why? Because he kept at it. He kept at it. He kept at it. Whatever thing you keep at, you will always come up on top. Now, if you are watching me and you've not told anybody about what I'm saying, it's because you don't think that this is important. But you see, believers will suffer great setbacks if we don't pay attention to the things I'm telling you today. Believers must be involved in politics. Call me whatever you want to call me. Political bishop is okay. Political brother is okay. What title do I hold in politics? None. And I'm not interested. I am raised by God to teach. I am raised by God to sound alarm. I am raised by God to continue to bring knowledge and understanding of where we are and what we must do. I am part of the Issachar Council Company. I am part of the Issachar Company in my generation and in my time. That is why, under great criticisms, under great accusations, under all the things that I've gone through, it has not touched me. Why? Because I know that I am called to do what I'm doing right now. So the church must wake up. The church must not allow herself to be overwhelmed. The children of this world are wiser than the children of the kingdom. Why? Why have we allowed things to those ones? Why have we learned all the things we have learned and we have not used it properly, effectively, and we've not been fruitful by the things that God has allowed us to learn? Why? Why is it that when it comes to certain issues, the church shies away? The church throws in the towel. The church go into, some form of oblivion. And then when the enemy begins to attack on that same aspect, you see them calling for prayer. You see them calling for fasting. You see them calling for 21 days prayer and fasting. Men, sometimes some 21 days prayer and fasting is useless. It's utterly useless. Uselessness of the greatest level of uselessness. Why am I saying that? Because whatever thing God has given you the ability to handle, and you now think that it is prayer and fasting that will change it, you are wasting your time. That is why James, the apostle James, the elder, the bishop, who was in charge of the church in Jerusalem at the time, said to the people, when you are talking about your faith, well, that works. He said, I will show you my faith by my works. Because so many Christians don't want to apply anything. That is why we were only just, ending at doing one thing or the other. We never paid attention to the educational sector of our communities. What are the laws that they are passing that can affect our children going to school? What are those things that are teaching today that will affect our children? Transgender teachings, all kinds of things that are being taught today in public schools, and what government of some nations have approved that it is okay, you can change your gender. You were a man, you can change to become a woman. You were a woman, you can change to become a man. And these are things that are out there in the world. It is already running. It is there. And sometimes they will tell you, you cannot teach otherwise as far as the church is concerned, or as far as the society is concerned. You cannot teach otherwise. If we bring you somebody to wed, and the man wants to wed a man, you got to wed him. Otherwise, you lose your license. If we bring you a woman that wants to wed another woman, they want to marry, you have to. These are laws by government. Where was the church when such laws came into existence in nations of the world? Where was the church when so many things were done against the Bible that we are carrying? Yes, churches are everywhere. Yes, mega churches everywhere. But yet, the aspect that we should have concentrated, the aspect we should have been involved in, the aspect we should have, make sure that we put our eyes as watchdogs, what is going on. We don't want to put ourselves there. We play down on those aspects and just say, no, it does not matter. Very soon you will know that it matters. Why is this generation refusing to be mentored? You see, the social media glam life is another thing. Because you see, social media sells the glamorous life without selling the journey to success. That is what social media does. Oh, we are using social media. The good aspect of social media is there. But I can tell you, a greater part of social media is telling you what you have not really known, the true story. Telling you what you've really known. You have not known the true story. You've not known this person that is this glamorous, this person that is having all these things. When did it start? That is why so many people have become fraudsters. They steal the community's money. They go into all kinds of fraudulent things so that they can make money overnight. Drive flashy cars, wear all kinds of bangles, rings, all kinds of things, earrings. And they said this one costs how many thousands of dollars. This one is many millions of dollars. When you die, they won't put those things there for you. And even if they put those things for you, someone will come and break that thing in one day and take them out. So when you look at the social media glam, it is all about, in most cases, it's about the successes that people are already talking about, without telling you about the process that brought them to the success story that they have. The glamour, the wambe, you know, the yeneka, the all of that, the sigi bem bem. You know, that is what we find, the glam. That's what you see. They don't tell you about the process. What took them to where they are today? What was that thing that they did? How many times did they fail in pursuing their businesses? How many times did they make mistakes? You know, we live in a world that hides their mistakes. They hide what they did wrong. They wouldn't ever tell you. They only tell you the story of their success, but they would never tell you the process by which they came into that place of success. So we must be careful, because you see, the hard times, many of these people who only followed what they saw on, the social media will fall. They wouldn't be able to stand, because all that they saw was this glamorous lifestyle where, people driving, parking how many cars, throwing party where thousands, hundreds of people, and they're buying, Apple products for everybody that comes in there. I mean, I missed one of those at the time, and I felt so bad. I said, why was I not there? I was invited. All the people that went there, the end product of iPhones, Apple product. That was what was the gift they were giving people. And do you know that there are those who will see that and they will say, man, my next party, I'm going to give Apple product as my own gift. Do you know where they got the money from? Do you know how they got to that level? You just want to do something without you asking a question. I remember some years ago, I love sending our pastors to some conferences for them to go and see what is going on there, and then maybe learn a few things. And when we meet to assess the conference they attended, what new did you see? What can you say? Excuse me, what can you say? How would you go about this? What is the thing that we can add to what we have? I was so surprised and shocked. One of the pastors came back. I sent him to go to Benin and then to see what is happening there. Archbishop and what was going on there. Myself, I had been there. I came back transformed. I got so much at a time. I met with great men that had only been hearing their names. I saw them for the first time, like Bishop Oyedepo of Winners. I met with the Olympic Taife that is late now. I met with, Bishop Osaoni. I met with those great men in Nigeria. All those big men in Benin City, because whenever Papa had meetings, all of them will be arriving. The Eagles will arrive, and my friend, I learned so much. My note at the time I couldn't write, I began to cry. I needed to just buy the materials because I needed to listen again and again and again and again to the words of wisdom that these men were, spinning out. So I sent one of our pastors, I think there were a few of them, I said they should go at another conference time, come back and then give us, understanding of what they went there to go and learn. Oh my Jesus. Do you know that the pastor, yes, it was time, give us the story of what did you see? What can we learn from there? Do you know what this guy said? He opened his mouth and said, oh my daddy, I've never seen people an agbada of all kinds of, shapes, of colors, those that had the stones. Now, agbada in Nigeria is this big cloth that, some people wear, and then it has excess, that you can throw it up. Normally, they call it 1,500. and some flamboyant guys, those who are rich, wealthy, and all of that. What those people wear, sometimes, man, you can't come close. So what did my young pastor see? He saw these people with these 1,500 agbada clothes, and then the kind of cars. He said to me, "Oh, Papa, if you see the cars," and I wonder, oh God, when will we get here? When will we get here? We need to get here. I was so surprised and shocked that you are being sent to go and study, go and watch. What brought these people to where they are? How can we improve on our ministry as a church? And only for you to come back and tell me how the clothes, how the cars, how these people, they had, all of them came with their protocol, their police, their soldiers. One person will come with 5, 6, some came with 12. And they say when they come, they clear the road. 5, 10 cars coming with them. All of that. That is what the pastor saw. And I wonder what people see when they go to places. When they go to places, the glamour is blinding your eyes to the actual process, the learning ingredients, what makes the food nice, what makes the food great, what makes the food interesting, what makes the food, what can make you go back there. There are hotels and there are hotels. What makes some hotels known as 3-star? What is that thing that makes an hotel known as 5-star? And I heard that there's a 7-star hotel. I've not been there yet. If God permits me and maybe somebody pays for me, I would like to go, but maybe don't pay, just give me the money for evangelism. I learned that there's a 7-star hotel. Man, from the time of you entering that hotel and everything, and the kind of pen that they put your name, they inscribe your name on the pen. Your ways, you have a name tag, your name, you are this, you are that. Man, I said to myself, 5-star, what makes hotels categorized? Their services. Their services. Do you want to be a 7-star politician? What kind of services are you rendering? Do you want to have a 7-star church? What services are you rendering? You see, hotels are classified by the kind of services they render, the kind of hospitality, what is provided, what is made available, all of that. So when you follow the glamour of life, you will not submit yourself to be mentored, because to be mentored, you have to strip yourself of things that you have known, strip yourself of your position, strip yourself of all that you think that you have, and just allow yourself to learn. In closing, I still have a lot to say. I will take it to the next Saturday. In closing, when I first went to Bible college, I've said this severally with people. I did not go there just as a student. I went there as a proprietor of a Bible college, because my mind was, I'm going to come back and I'm going to run a Bible school. Now, if I'm going to run a Bible school, it is not enough to just be in the class and hear the classes and all the lectures. So do you know what happened? I had to learn. I had to be in every office. I had to be with the Dean of Student Affairs. I had to be with the Dean of Academics. I had to be with what we call the principal, who was the overall of the school. I had to be with the account department. I had to be in the administration. I had to go into all of that. Why? Because I was coming out from there to run a Bible college. And friends, from our Bible college, we've trained over close to about 7,000 people by today around the world. And if I just went there and I just looked at things, and then, there were those who put their hands in their pockets. Some of them are great ministries and churches. They just went to have the knowledge, have the certificate or diploma and degree and go away. Me, I went to learn, and I learned on every side. So when I came to America to come to school here, I was not coming here to come and, I enjoyed hamburger. I ate it. I mean, it's something that's very easy to just grab and run. But, my friend, I never remember going to buy myself a shoes, buy a pair of shoes, or buy clothes, or buy a suit. For the time I was a student here, do you know what I bought? I bought equipment. Every time I had money, I'll go and buy one amplifier and keep. The next time, I'll go and buy a set of drums. The next time, I'll go and buy a guitar. I'll buy a keyboard. I began to buy things because my mind was, when I leave this place, I'm going back. Apart from me having a Bible college, I want to take the Bible students to crusades so that they will learn how to preach and hold crusades. That was what I was learning, and that was what was on my mind. So when I came to America, all my money went to buy books. I would buy books. Many times when I return back from America, people see me with big bags. They think that clothes are there or shoes are there. Man, what I carry there are books. Why? Because I need to learn. I need to study. I need to make myself ready. You know, people don't understand that if you do not submit yourself and allow yourself to be mentored, go through the process, learn. I can tell you, being mentored is not an easy thing. It's not something that just comes to an end tomorrow. It is something that you have to submit and totally be prepared to learn. Dedicate those days and hours that you are coming to your mentor, that you want to be mentored. Dedicate those hours, dedicate that time, give yourself that time, and you will be surprised what you will become. So I am running out of time. I know that we are hitting a little bit above our time. So let me stop here. Next Saturday, I'm coming back. Christians must have to understand the importance of joining politics, so that, because that is a vehicle that leads people into becoming leaders in the society, in the community, as president, as those in the Senate, as those in the House of Representatives, as governors, as members of House of Assembly, as members of different, legislature of the lower level, and also those that need to be, in the judiciary, and those that need to be in the legislative arm of government. You need to know what it takes. And if we must begin to do that, we'll begin to mentor people specifically for each of the aspects of influence that we want to have. And I can tell you one major aspect that even determines the other aspect of every part of the society is leadership, and it is in the place of governance, which government is the one that decides on the culture of the people, the economy of the people, the lifestyle of the people, the language of the people. Whatever things to happen to the people is based on the leader. That is why you see people who fight at that level to make sure they bring the right kind of direction. The church cannot throw in the towel. In my closing remarks, the church must have to wake up. As Christians, you must take our claim that we are part of this estate called the earth. And until we leave this earth, we must have to make it happen in our time. Once again, on Saturday, I will be back to continue on the reason why many people don't want to be mentored. What is the problem? Why is it so? And how can we encourage people to be mentored and also to have true mentors? I will show you other reasons, because you have to balance what we are saying. May God bless you. May God keep you. See you again. Be careful. I am told that there is something called, and it is still running around like the name COVID-19, a pandemic. God punish the devil. Thank God for our scientists who are coming out with vaccine. I know that many people, especially some Christians and some sectors, that said they don't want to have it. Many people who refuse to take the vaccine for polio had allowed polio to remain in their community, even when other parts of the world had eradicated polio. So I want you to pray about it, and I want you to acknowledge. In my dialect, they said, Eyen Boifiam. I want you to take wisdom into play so that you know what to do. God bless you. For us in destiny, we always say we are wonderfully made and dignified. We are destined to rule and reign. We are champions because we have the seed of greatness in us. Victory. God bless you. Keep it running and make sure you remain rapturable. In Jesus' name. Amen. Shalom. Shalom. Repost it. Refire this thing I've just told you. Let others know about it.
Nobody else but you. You're my provider, my healer, protector, lover of my soul, redeemer, my anchor in the storm. Everything is you, Jesus. You're everything. Everything is you, Jesus. You're everything. Everything is you. That is why my worship is to you. Everything is you. That is why my worship is to you. Everything is you.
I bless the name of the Lord for this wonderful opportunity to have Jesus on the inside of me. Friends, there is no other thing that matters in this life. What is the most important thing for you is to be sure that Jesus dwells right on the inside of you. Try him and you will never have a regret. Put your faith in Jesus. Hallelujah. Let's worship him again.
Oh, Jesus,
Jesus, you are my everything.
you're everything. Everything. Everything is you.
You are my provider, Lord Jesus.
Jesus,
You have never left me.
you're everything.
He said, behold, I am with you
Everything is
always.
you. Everything.
That is why the storms of life can never drown us.
That's why.
Yes.
Give my worship is to
My
you,
worship is only to you, Lord Jesus. That is why I kneel only unto you. That is why I proclaim the name above all names. Everything is you, Lord Jesus. Everything is you, Lord Jesus.
Everything is you.
Nothing matters.
Everything
It
is
is
you.
only about you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.